So this is the second day in a row, Alex Jones has found himself avoiding to show up in court to answer some of these lawsuits that was brought against him by families of Sandy Hook shooting victims. Now, if you ask Alex Jones, he'll tell you that the victim is himself. Watch.
I mean, you saw this judge up in Connecticut yesterday, and you saw the lawyers, these Democrat Party lawyers that work for Blumenthal, openly saying, we want him arrested and put in jail if he doesn't show up for some multi-day long, way Connecticut law works, it's just unlimited long deal. And so when I talked to these doctors, they said, you're crazy. You need to go home. You need to go get these tests. I got more tests set today, more tomorrow. And you need to stay away from the microphone. Well, here I am, even though I shouldn't be on here because I have to respond to the hundreds of news articles, including the Associated Press, that are attacking me and saying I'm a horrible person. But I might just release my medical records to make you all look like fools.
Ready for that. Now, by the way, he insisted that he missed his court date because he had to go to the hospital. He had a nice little cough in there in the middle. He shouldn't even be here, yet he's there. So there's a medical expert that did provide him with this doctor's note. Let's find out who this guy is, who was a guest on his show. I mean, you can have your show, I suppose. So this doctor who said Alex Jones was too sick to attend his deposition is the same man who appeared on the far-right conspiracy theorist Infowars show just 2 days earlier to call COVID-19 vaccines, quote, poison.
Oh my God.
And that is what has emerged as this new information. Dr. Marble, he's a member of the far right-wing group America's
His name is Dr. Marble?
Marble, and he created a free telehealth website for COVID-19. It's called myfreedoctor.com, and it touts unsubstantiated treatments for the virus, including the use of anti-parasite drug ivermectin. That is not a surprise. Now, despite him missing his court appearance and all that, he is still recording his show, as we can see there. And the families of these victims from Sandy Hook just don't want to hear it anymore, and they're continuing to go back and forth with this battle with him. So after not showing up to court, the Infowars host continued to broadcast his show live on Monday and Tuesday, and that's from a studio that his attorneys later admitted he had left his home to go to. So this cowardly attempt by Mr. Jones to escape accountability for the years he spent spreading lies about Sandy Hook shows contempt both for the law and for the families, is what the family's attorney, Chris Matei, he said in a statement.
Wow.
Yeah, one more piece of this, Rick, before we get to your thoughts on it. So after his no-show from this whole thing, he's scheduled to appear for the deposition on Thursday with the attorneys for the Sandy Hook victims' families calling on the court to arrest him for civil contempt if he fails up to show again. I always hate talking about the things that he said and did to these families after they went through these tragedies, and they're forever gonna be scarred by what happened to them. But let's look at some of the more things that he did to these families that he now won't face in court now that they're suing him. Watch.
Sandy Hook, it's got inside job written all over it. Sandy Hook is a synthetic, completely fake, with actors, in my view, manufactured. I couldn't believe it at first. People just instinctively know that there's a lot of fraud going on. But it took me about a year with Sandy Hook to come to grips with the fact that the whole thing was fake. I mean, even I couldn't believe it. I knew they jumped on it, used the crisis, hyped it up, but then I did deep research, and my gosh, it just pretty much didn't happen. I mean, I've interviewed the cops and the people that saw the feds plant the bombs in Oklahoma City. You saw them stage Fast and Furious. Folks, they staged Aurora. They staged Sandy Hook. The evidence is just overwhelming. The Newtown kids, they take them, put them in our face, tell us their names, who they were.
Imagine that that's your kids that was involved with that. And then this is what they had to deal with. This one more quick part, because this is what the families then said they had to deal with because of his rabid fans listening to those lies. Watch.
They're recycling a green screen behind them.
A theory that Leonard Posner and Veronique De La Rosa say turned their lives upside down. Their 6-year-old son, Noah, was killed during the mass shooting in 2012. Ever since, they say they've been harassed. The abuse so bad, they've had to move 7 times.
7 times. These kids would be in high school by now. Is what you always tend to think about, where they'd be and who they'd be at this point. But it's all for ratings, it's all for fun.
It is. I like how, first off, that doctor, I gotta tell you, JR, writing that doctor's note, he really lost his marbles.
Oh God, oh my God. It'll make me regret doing this.
Okay, so seriously, I like how he talks about performance and acting and all this stuff when he was the one and his lawyers were the ones who literally argued in court that he should not be taken seriously because he's a performance artist.
Yep.
That was his defense. His lawyers, no, don't take him seriously. He turns it on. He is basically an actor. All that he's doing is acting. Now, my question is, when does the act not get treated as an act? And when does it become more serious than that? Because it's not like he is starring in a movie. He is pushing misinformation, disinformation, conspiracy theories, none of which are true. You know, like tap water turning frogs gay, like crazy, insane stuff. And then he, in the very same breath, turns around and says, well, you know what you gotta do in order to not turn the frogs gay? You gotta get this purifier that me and my friends always got to try to do. And then he sells it for like $58.
Is that acting?
Time.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. It is not acting. What he is doing is peddling in disinformation, misinformation, and he has seriously hurt people. Now, the whole like Pizzagate conspiracy theory, he pushed that. He has pushed anti-Semitism. Going back to the first thought though, there was a man who was arrested for bringing a loaded firearm into Comet Ping Pong Pizza Show, something like that, because he watched Alex Jones.
100%. There's real actions behind these roles that they like to say they're playing. Same with Tucker Carlson on Fox News.
Right, which is obviously false.
That's the way they push it.